The Hitman franchise is one of the few game series that has introduced improvements and new features with every release. Even when the changes were small, they often had a big impact on the overall experience. In this video, I will be sharing my favorite thing of each Hitman game. The video is inspired by The Hidden One, who made a similar video about the Assassin's Creed franchise. You might check him out too if you like Assassin's Creed. And as usual, we are treating the World of Assassination trilogy as separate entries. Let's start as always with Hitman Codename 47. The game was released in the year 2000 and I could just say that my favorite thing is simply the fact that it exists, but that would be too easy. While the game hasn't aged perfectly, considering it came out in 2000, it actually has a surprising amount of details, even more than some modern games today. But what surprised me the most and what I'd consider my favorite thing about it is the ability to dual-wield different weapons. This is a feature that to this day only exists in this Hitman game. I do wonder why this feature never made a return in any other Hitman game, but that's really just nitpicking, because in modern Hitman titles we don't have any option to dual-wield weapons at all. Let's move on to Hitman 2 Silent Assassin. The game introduced a lot of improvements, such as the ability to knock out your targets, the rating system and the hideout, where you could collect and test out the weapons you found and earned doing missions. But what I personally like the most about this game is the variety of missions. Now you might say, wait a minute, that's the case in every Hitman game. Well, yes it is, but to me, Silent Assassin really made it feel like you were actually in those places and countries, especially because in every mission, the NPCs spoke in the native language. Which is no longer the case in modern Hitman games, and let's not forget that it's still the Hitman game with the most missions if we don't count DLCs. Now let's talk about Hitman contracts. Many fans say it's the darkest Hitman game to date, and I completely agree with it. The fact that it's raining and dark in every mission already sets the tone for the whole game. But what really adds to that feeling are the missions themselves, some of which almost feel like something out of a horror game. And on top of that, the soundtrack is absolutely insane, in the best way possible of course. And it fits the atmosphere perfectly. Everything you do in this game feels dark. Even the day menu screams dark. So my favorite thing in this game is definitely the atmosphere. And no Hitman game comes close to it. Maybe Hitman Blood Money. Talking about Blood Money, let's get to the hardest part of the video. In my opinion, it's still the Hitman game with the best features and the most details in the entire franchise. Compared to the older titles, this one was a massive leap forward, especially in terms of gameplay and realism. One of the coolest features, the notoriety system and the newspapers you see after each mission. It tells you exactly how you killed the target, and if there were witnesses, they will even give a description of the suspect. And that adds so much more immersion. But honestly, my favorite feature of this game is the customization. Unlike in the other games, you can actually earn money after every mission, depending on how clean or chaotic your playthrough was. And with that money you can buy all kinds of stuff and upgrades. Body armor, faster lockpicks, extra bombs, and even fully customize your weapons the way you want. Here's an example. Check out the difference between a standard reload and a reload using a dual magazine on the same rifle. Way faster, right? You can even equip special ammo that lets you shoot through doors. Let's jump into what I think is the easiest part of this video. We all know that Hitman Absolution is a very unique entry in the franchise. And yeah, it got a lot of things wrong when it comes to what makes a true Hitman game. But what it did get right, and honestly my favorite thing about it, is the combat. No matter what you do in this game, snapping a neck, taking someone out with an axe, kill someone with a knife, or straight up gunplay. It all feels incredibly polished, brutal and satisfying. And I think most people would agree with me when I say, to this day, it's the Hitman game with the best combat and animation, hands down. And honestly, I totally get when people say Hitman Absolution feels more like a movie. With combat this cinematic and intense, I simply can't disagree. Let's move on to Hitman Season 1. The game launched with quite a few flaws, but it kept getting better with every update and every new mission. And honestly, in no other Hitman game do we have more freedom than in this trilogy when it comes out to taking out your targets. The way you could unlock new starting locations and weapons by completing challenges was super cool, and it really made you want to spend hours perfecting just a single mission. But my favorite thing in this game, the cinematic cutscenes. As a longtime Hitman fan, it was honestly a dream to come true to see cutscenes with this level of quality. They looked and felt amazing. Unfortunately, IO Interactive was going through serious financial trouble at the time, so they were on the edge of collapse, and that's why we didn't get the same kind of cutscenes in Hitman 2 and Hitman 3. I think a lot of people would agree with me when I say I really wish we got that level of cinematic storytelling across the entire trilogy. Next up is Hitman 2. The game didn't have the same high quality cutscenes as the game before, but in pretty much every other way the game was a major improvement. And my favorite thing about Hitman 2, the additional content. To this day, it's the only Hitman game with a proper season pass, and honestly, I've never felt so good about paying for extra content. But that's not even the main thing I'm talking about. On top of the awesome DLC missions, we also got 3 new modes, like the Sniper Assassin mode, which even came with its own dedicated maps, and of course there was a Ghost mode, the first and only multiplayer mode in the entire franchise. With all of that, Hitman 2 really felt like a big leap forward in terms of content, even if the core gameplay itself didn't change much.
Martinez is down. Good work.
And finally, let's talk about Hitman 3, probably the highlight of this entire video. From a pure gameplay perspective, there weren't really any major improvements, unless you count the new shortcuts you can unlock, but honestly, that's barely worth mentioning. What truly makes Hitman 3 special, and my favorite thing about it, is the ongoing content. Even years after release, IO Interactive continues to surprise us with insane updates and fresh content. We've got Elusive Target Arcade mode, the incredible Freelancer mode, which is basically a dream come true for hardcore Hitman fans, and even the chance to take down real-world celebrity elusive targets. We've had targets like Conor McGregor, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and most recently Mads Mikkelsen from Casino Royale. And guess what? 2 more celebrity targets have already been announced for this year. And on top of that, we are probably getting a co-op mode in the near future too. And all of this for free. This is solid proof that this isn't just the best part of Hitman 3, it's the best thing in the entire franchise. The fact that we are still getting free, high quality content 4 years after launch, that's just insane to me. It shows exactly why Hitman has become something truly special. The perfect conclusion to an incredible journey and franchise. And that's it for another one of my Hitman videos. If you really enjoyed this one, I'm thinking about doing the same kind of video, but this time focusing on things I don't like in each Hitman game. Let me know in the comments what your favorite feature is in every Hitman, or even just your favorite thing from the one you've played. Thank you for watching, and see you the next time.